I wish I could tell you that rejection gets easier. That after the 10th no, or the 50th no, or the 100th no, you'll suddenly be immune to it. But the truth? That doesn't get easier. It still stings. It still has a way of making you question everything. Your talent, your worth, even your decision to start in the first place. When I started out, I thought rejection was a sign that maybe I wasn't cut out for this. I thought if I were really good enough, they wouldn't say no so much. But here's the thing nobody tells you when you're chasing a dream. Rejection is not proof that you're not good enough. It's proof that you're in the arena. You only get bruised when you're actually in the fight. Too many people spend their lives on the sidelines, waiting for certainty before they step forward. Oh, that comes our moments. Moments where you can either risk hearing a no or play it safe and hear nothing at all. And I can tell you from experience, silence is far worse than rejection. Silence doesn't teach you anything. Rejection does. Rejection is a teacher. One of the cruelest, yes, but also one of the most honest. It's blunt. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't sugarcoat the truth. Sometimes it's because you weren't ready. Sometimes it's because they weren't ready for you. Sometimes it's because you didn't fit their version of the story. And sometimes it's for no reason you'll ever understand. You can drive yourself crazy trying to read meaning into every no, but the truth is you don't always get an explanation. And that's where the real work begins, learning to stand tall without one. I remember walking into auditions where I knew, from the moment I stepped in, they'd already decided I wasn't the guy. You can see it in the way people look at you, in the way they flip through their papers as if they're already on to the next. I'd still stand there, give them everything I had. And I'd leave knowing they didn't see me, but I saw myself. I knew I'd shown up. That was my bruise to wear with pride. You see, a bruise is different from a wound. A wound bleeds, it weakens you. But a bruise reminds you that you survived the hit. It fades, but the memory stays. And the more bruises you collect, the more proof you have that you've been in the fight, that you've taken the punches and you're still standing. When you start to think of rejection that way as something you collect, as part of the currency of progress, it changes you. Instead of running from it, you lean into it. You stop asking, how do I avoid rejection? And you start asking, how do I make the most of it? And making the most of it means being honest about how much it hurts. This isn't about pretending it doesn't bother you. That's not strength. That's denial. Strength is feeling it, admitting it, and still choosing to try again tomorrow. When you hide from rejection, you also hide from opportunity. You hide from the messy, unpredictable, sometimes humiliating moments that shape you into someone who can handle the big stage when it finally comes. You don't get to skip the bruises. You don't get to dodge the announce and still expect to be ready for the yes. The truth is, the yes is built out of the announce. Every role I've landed, every moment where someone finally believed in me, was forged in the furnace of 100 auditions where they didn't. You learn things in rejection you can't learn any other way. You learn resilience. You learn patience. You learn to create your own validation. Because if you wait for the world to hand it to you, you'll be waiting forever. I think that's why so many people quit. Not because they couldn't handle the work, but because they couldn't handle the waiting. They couldn't handle the gap between effort and reward. Rejection stretches that gap until it feels endless. And you have to learn to live in that space without losing yourself. It's in that space that you start to realize something. Rejection is temporary, but regret is permanent. You can recover from being turned away, laughed off, dismissed. But you can't recover from the version of yourself that never even tried because they were too afraid of what might happen. So yes, embrace the bruises. Wear them like medals. They are proof you stepped into the ring when you didn't have to. They are proof you faced the possibility of failure and chose to risk it anyway. They are proof you're not hiding from life, waiting for the perfect moment to show up. You're showing up now, messy, imperfect, and still moving forward. And in the end, that's the difference between the people who make it and the people who don't. Not talent, not luck, not some secret formula. It's the willingness to take the hit, to collect the bruise, and to keep walking into the places where you know you might hear a no. Because every no is just one step closer to the yes that will change everything. When people doubt you, they're giving you something, though it won't feel like a gift. At first, it feels like a weight on your chest. Like someone standing at the edge of your dreams saying, "You don't belong here." It's humiliating. It's personal. But here's what I've learned. Their doubt doesn't define you. It defines them. Their words, their shrugs, their polite but dismissive smiles. That's not about your potential. I've had people look me in the eye and tell me, straight-faced, that I'd never make it. Not "it'll be hard," not "you'll have to work for it." No. Just a flat, simple "you can't." And they'd back it up with reasons. My size, my look, my voice. All the things they decided made me wrong for the part before I even opened my mouth. You can let that bear you. Or you can let it light a fire in your gut so strong it scares you. Because when the world says, you can't, you have two choices. One, you accept it. You take their word for it, pack your bags, and go home. Two, you let it become the challenge you wake up for every morning. I chose the second one, not because I was fearless. I wasn't. Not because I was certain I'd win. I wasn't. I chose it because I refused to let someone else write the ending to my story before I'd even had a chance to live it. See, doubt can crush you, but it can also become fuel if you know how to use it. It's like gasoline. You can spill it everywhere and let it poison the ground beneath you, or you can throw a match on it and watch it burn a path forward. But here's the trick. You can't use their doubt as your only source of fuel. If your only reason for moving forward is to prove them wrong, you'll burn out the moment you do. You have to want it for yourself. You have to believe, deep down, that what you're chasing matters even if nobody else sees it. For me, it wasn't just about proving people wrong. It was about proving myself right. I knew quietly, stubbornly, that I could do the work, that I had something to offer that was worth watching. And every time someone doubted me, it wasn't just an insult, it was an opportunity to sharpen my own belief, to make it so unshakable that no amount of rejection or criticism could knock it over. That doesn't mean I smiled and nodded every time someone dismissed me. Sometimes I got angry. Sometimes I went home furious. Sometimes I sat in the dark and thought, maybe they're right. That's part of it too. Those moments when their doubt starts to sound like your own voice, that's when you have to fight the hardest. Because it's one thing when strangers don't believe in you. It's another when you stop believing in yourself. The way you fight back is simple, but not easy. You keep showing up. You keep walking into rooms where they don't expect you to belong. You keep doing the work that nobody notices. And every time you get knocked back, you remember that the same people who doubt you now will pretend they always believed in you later. I've seen it happen. People who wouldn't give me 5 minutes in the early days suddenly wanted to shake my hand after the awards came in. They said, "I always knew you'd make it." No, they didn't, and that's fine. I didn't need them to. I needed me to. Because here's the quiet truth. Nobody owes you belief. Not your friends, not your family, not the industry you're trying to break into. And that's okay. Their belief isn't the foundation you need. You have to build your own foundation out of every no, every raised eyebrow, every bit of doubt thrown your way. Think about it. If they had believed in you from the beginning, would you have fought as hard? Would you have stretched yourself as far? Would you have learned how to carry yourself with that edge, that grit, that certainty that comes only from walking through fire? Probably not. Doubt isn't the enemy, it's the gym. It's the place where your confidence gets trained and tested. And the more you face it, the more you realize something strange. Their doubt starts to lose its power. You stop hearing it as an insult, and you start hearing it as a dare. You start thinking, oh, you don't think I can? Watch me. Not in a bitter way, not in a desperate way, but in a way that's almost playful. You start to see it as fuel, because that's all it ever was. And here's the beautiful thing about fuel. You don't have to thank the people who gave it to you. You just have to use it to go further than they ever imagined you could. There's a strange temptation that comes with chasing something big. It's the urge to wait. Wait until you're more ready. Wait until you have more money. Wait until the timing feels perfect, the stars align, and someone hands you an invitation to step forward. But here's the truth. That perfect moment you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. I wasted time early in my career thinking there'd be a sign, something clear and loud that would tell me, now you're ready, now you should step in, but it never came. What came instead was a lot of quiet, a lot of days where I could have done something and didn't. And the longer you wait, the easier it gets to keep waiting. Standing still feels safe. It feels controlled. There's no risk of rejection if you never step into the room. There's no failure if you never try. But there's also no progress. And after a while, you realize safety is just another kind of prison. I remember days when I'd avoid auditions, not because I didn't want them, but because I was afraid of hearing a no again. Afraid of walking into that same cramped casting office, reading my lines and seeing that familiar blank expression from the person across the table. So I tell myself, I'll try next time. I'll wait until I feel stronger, sharper, better. But next time never came by itself. I had to make it come. Momentum doesn't build itself. You have to push. And sometimes the push feels pointless, like you're rolling a boulder uphill and it keeps sliding back. But here's the thing, every time you push, you get stronger. And eventually, the boulder doesn't slide back as far. Eventually, it starts to move forward. The truth is, most opportunities don't arrive as a neatly wrapped gift. They arrive disguised as small, messy, inconvenient chances that you'd rather ignore. The audition you're not ready for. The meeting you didn't plan on. The role that doesn't seem like your thing. You can spend your life saying a no to those moments because they're not perfect. Or you can show up anyway. It's the only way I've ever gotten it. Half the jobs I've landed weren't because I was the most talented in the room. They were because I was the one who showed up when others stayed home. And here's the part that's hard to hear. There will be long stretches when it feels like you're moving forward and nothing's changing. You'll be working, practicing, showing up, and still not seeing results. That's where most people quit. Not because they can't do it, but because they can't see the payoff yet. That's when you have to trust the process. You have to believe that every little action, every script you read, every rehearsal you grind through, every nerve-wracking audition matters. Even if it's not paying off yet, it's building you into the person who can handle it when it does. Standing still might feel safer in the short term. It tricks you into thinking you're protecting yourself, when really you're just delaying the inevitable moment when you'll have to step forward anyway. Only now you'll be rusty, hesitant, and even more afraid. I've been there. I've been the person who let fear freeze me in place. I've been the person who thought, I'll wait until I'm confident. But here's what I learned. Confidence isn't the starting point. It's the result. You only find it after you've moved, after you've failed, after you've kept going when standing still would have been easier. Sometimes moving forward doesn't mean a giant leap. Sometimes it's just sending that email, taking that meeting, showing up for that workshop, saying yes when your brain is screaming you're not ready. It's not glamorous, it's not cinematic, but it's the grind that builds the breakthrough. And here's the secret, you don't need to feel ready to start, you just need to start. The clarityness comes later, the payoff comes later. The only thing that has to happen now is movement, because the truth is nothing changes until you move. You can dream all you want, plan all you want, talk about it all you want. Until you take a step, it's all just air. And air won't carry you anywhere. There will always be reasons to wait. There will always be voices, sometimes your own, that tell you it's smarter to hold back. But if you give those voices the final say, you'll still be standing in the same place 10 years from now, wondering why nothing happened. And the world won't slow down for you. Opportunities will pass by. People will move ahead. Doors will close. And you'll realize that standing still wasn't safety at all. It was surrender. So keep moving, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. Keep walking into rooms where you don't feel ready. Keep saying yes when you'd rather say next time. Because momentum, once you build it, becomes its own kind of safety. Not the safety of hiding, but the safety of knowing you can handle whatever comes next. When you're chasing something big, you start out thinking there's only one kind of win, the big one, the job you've dreamed about, the breakthrough role, the moment everyone notices and the credits finally roll in your favor. And don't get me wrong, those moments matter. They're worth fighting for. But if that's the only thing you call a win, you're setting yourself up for a long, miserable climb. Because the big wins, They're rare, they take years, they don't show up on your schedule. And if you can't see the value in the smaller victories along the way, you're going to think you're losing far more than you actually are. When I started, I measured my success in extremes. Either I got the part or I failed. Either they said yes or the whole thing was a waste. I didn't count the fact that I'd made it to the audition in the first place. I didn't count the fact that I delivered my lines better than last time. I didn't count the fact that I'd had the courage to show my work to complete strangers knowing they might dismiss me. But here's the truth. Those things are wins. They don't feel like it at first because they're not loud. Nobody throws you a party for them. They don't trend on social media. They're quiet, almost invisible, but they're the bricks that make up the road to the bigger victories. Without them, there's no foundation. You have to redefine winning as something you can touch every day. Not just once every few years. Winning can be walking into a room that used to terrify you. Winning can be delivering your lines without the tremor in your voice. Winning can be knowing you left everything you had on the table, even if the answer was still a no. If you only value the moments where the world claps for you, you're going to spend 99% of your journey feeling like a failure. But if you start valuing the moments where you clap for yourself, you'll realize you're winning all the time. And here's the thing, those small wins add up. They're not consolation prizes. They're momentum. They're proof that you're moving forward, even when the scoreboard doesn't show it yet. Every time you count one, you train your brain to keep going. You stop waiting for permission to feel proud. Because waiting for the big win before you feel successful is like refusing to celebrate a single step until you've run the whole marathon. You'll collapse long before you ever get there. There's another reason redefining a win matters. It takes away the power of rejection to ruin you. If your only win is getting the role, then every no wipes you out. But if a win is delivering my best performance yet, or walking into the audition with my head high, then rejection doesn't erase it. They can say a no, and you still walk away knowing you got something out of it. For me, one of the biggest shifts in my career wasn't getting a major role. It was learning to leave an audition and say, "It's good work, Peter," even if I knew the call wasn't coming at the game longer than Tylenol ever could. Sometimes the win isn't even about the work itself. It's about who you become while doing it. The discipline you build, the resilience, the patience. Those things don't happen when you only show up for the big moments. They happen when you show up every day for the small ones too. Think of it like this. Your dream is a mountain. The summit is the big win. But most of the climb isn't spent at the summit. It's spent finding your footing on smaller ledges, catching your breath, figuring out which way to go next. If you can't see those ledges as victories, you'll convince yourself you're failing, even as you're making real progress. When you redefine winning, you also redefine what failure means. If you walk into a room and do your best work, that's a win, even if you don't get the job. If you learn something new about your craft, that's a win, even if no one else sees it. If you faced a fear that's been holding you back, that's a win, even if it didn't pay you yet. And here's what's funny, when you start stacking small wins, the big wins tend to follow. Not because you're chasing them harder, but because you're becoming the kind of person who's ready for them. You're sharper, you're more confident, you're consistent. The big moments stop being flukes and start being the natural result of how you've been showing up. The irony is, once you get those big wins, you realize they're not as different from the small ones as you thought. They feel good, sure, but they don't change who you are overnight. They don't erase the grind. They don't make the next challenge any easier. If you can't find joy in the small wins, the big ones will feel hollow when they finally arrive. So count them. Count every single one. Celebrate the audition you didn't skip. Celebrate the day you kept going when you felt like quitting. Celebrate the moment you trusted yourself enough to take a shot you weren't sure you could make. Because the truth is, your life is built out of those moments, and the more of them you can recognize as victories, the richer and stronger your journey becomes. You've heard me talk about bruises, about doubt, about moving when it's easier to stand still, and about redefining what it means to win. And here's what it all comes down to. This isn't about some fairy tale ending where you suddenly get everything you ever wanted. This is about becoming the kind of person who keeps showing up even when it's hard, even when it's quiet, even when the applause hasn't started yet. The bruises you collect, they're proof that you've lived, The doubt you've faced, that's fuel for the fire you carry. The movement you forced yourself to make when fear tried to glue your feet to the floor, that's your momentum. And the small wins you've learned to see and celebrate, they're the scaffolding holding up the life you're building. When I look back, the moments that shaped me weren't always the big ones. They were the mornings I didn't quit, the nights I went home empty-handed but still knew I'd given everything I had. They were the countless rejections that didn't end me because I refused to let them. So take every no as a step forward. Take every doubt as a challenge. Take every quiet, unnoticed effort as a piece of the foundation you're laying. And when that big yes finally comes, and it will, you'll know you didn't get here by accident. You built it. So, you built one bruise, one doubt, one step, one win at a time. Now go collect some more.